welcome back to the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. So today is going to be another firewood day. So I'm going to take some time and clean up this mess here. And once I get done with this, I'm going to look at going back there and doing that stuff back there. Idea being, all this stuff here is going to be much greener than that stuff back behind the splitter. So all of this stuff we've cut off or has been added more recently than anything back there. That stuff's probably been cut and stacked for at least a year, because it came from the 100 acres. So it had been over there for a bit, and then we finally got it over here so I could start splitting it. Whereas this stuff have some scrap pieces that we're going to potentially sawmill, or we're part of a sawmill log and then we cut off because it's crooked or just pretty small. Same with this, so we have some rounds. So I'm gonna work on getting some of this stuff up on the splitter. This stuff back here, some of it just needs to be split in half and then can be good to go. But I'm gonna get this stuff done first. I have bay 2 back there that is open, so the idea is, since this stuff's greener, it'll go in the back, and then this stuff, if this doesn't fill it up, will kind of go toward the front, because this stuff is definitely drier than any of this is. So start working on getting this cleaned up. Have a little bit of saw work to do to get this cut up, some of these, but I have plenty here kind of to begin with that I'll work on getting split up. So probably just get the tractor going instead of getting the auger out today. I'll go up and get the wood. I'll go up and get the wood trailer and just back it in this area here. So if I'm splitting here, I'll just kind of get it right in this area as close as I can, so that whenever I split, I can just throw it right on and kind of fill that up. And then once I have a pretty good load on that, I'll be able to back it over and get into bay 2 there and just start stacking. So work on getting this pile whittled down. It's supposed to be about 80 today. Already getting ready to take this off. Starting to warm up pretty quick now that the sun's up, so probably take this off and start whittling down this pile. I'll probably split for a little bit. Once I get tired of that, I'll get the chainsaw out, get some of that stuff cut up, and I don't know, see how much of this I can get through, and just keep working on that today. So just another day doing firewood. It's one of those things, I'm just surrounded by it here, so need to keep whittling it down as much as possible. And one of those things that can't eat an elephant in one bite, so just keep working on it little bits at a time. It's been about an hour and a half, maybe 2. Have a pretty good load here on the trailer. should be about a row, give or take. It should be pretty close. So to give you an idea of how much wood is here, I didn't touch any of that yet, and I just cleaned up the little bit that was right here, and there's still all of that back there. So kind of gives you a sense of how much wood there is in here, and it's not neatly stacked and everything, so it's not like it's stacked in there nice. But some of this, I'll need to cut some of that off, obviously cut these down. So I'll get the trailer over where I can stack, and I'll probably stack for a bit and get that done. It's my least favorite part of doing this whole process. I don't mind splitting, don't mind running the chainsaw, but for whatever reason that stacking process just wears thin, and lots of bending down, picking up pieces. So I'll work on that though. Then I'll get the tractor over here with the backhoe and pick these pieces up and get them cut down to my 16 inches. So I'll probably get all of that done next, because there's several of those in there that are too long. So I'll get that kind of cut up, get some of this stuff kind of moved around to where I can get to some of it more. Been using the hookaroon, which has been nice for the smaller stuff. You can just stick it in a log and I can pick it right up to this table. So that's been working well for all the small stuff. So it's kind of what I got right now. So I'll see how far this gets. And there's a pretty good mix of red oak, maple, poplar, and some locust here or there, but we've got a pretty good mix. You can see, like on the pieces that I do for the bags, I cut them a lot smaller, whereas these I kind of have much more variety. I want some small pieces to get a fire started, and then some bigger pieces that you can put in like overnight or for a longer burn, to where, you know, you can let it go for a few hours by stacking that up. So a lot more variety in kind of the stuff that we stack and burn in the house, as far as size goes, and then also the type of wood. Like the poplar and maple should be easier to get going, but isn't going to last as long. The red oak and the little bit of locust that is in here, you can put those in and let those burn for a while. So have pretty good variety in this. So I'll get it stacked up. And also, I don't split as small for this stuff because of the rotation that we're on for about 3 years. With this firewood, it's going to have 3 years to dry, so you don't have to split it real small so that you hope that it's dry for the next year. With this rotation, the bigger pieces will definitely be dry after 3 years. So go get this stacking and work on that next. Here, I just want to make a quick comment that we do spray some bug killer in there before stacking the wood, and then I typically try to put some in after stacking. Just the carpenter bee and ants and things like that. Try to keep those down because you do have to worry about that with the wood. Okay, it took me about 45 minutes to get this stuff stacked. So, I have most of the row here. It's pretty loosely stacked. Had a lot of pieces in this first batch. I had a lot of knots and stuff in it, so it didn't stack real pretty. So obviously I have a small section here that I'll be able to fill in. All this stuff is kind of just odds and ends, but good collection here. Have this back mostly open, and with the wind, be able to get through this and start to dry it now that it's stacked and off the ground. So below here we have stone underneath, and then these are actually old fence boards from a fence we had here that we just put down. So there's 2x4s underneath, and then the fence board, so it kind of keeps it up off the ground a little bit, so that you don't have you know, it sitting right on dirt or water. So it's kind of the construction there, and again, pretty loose, but it'll let this start to dry. And again, we have these two, bay 3 and 4, and then number 1, before we'll get back around to this stuff. So I'll use this stuff next year and a little bit of that one, and then cycle back around to 1. So it's the current plan. Some of the drier stuff I may try to put here. I have a basket out back that we took part of one out and put it in a basket, so I may actually move it back here. I know it's super dry, so I may move it so that it's back out here, or just bring that basket up so we can use it at some point. So I'll probably just leave the little tractor here, so it's out of the way, and then I'll go get the big tractor fired up, and I'll get the stuff that needs to be cut down to size. I'll get it cut down, and then I'll just kind of organize all this stuff so that it's easier to get to for getting it on the splitter. Some of these bigger pieces I may have to use the tractor to get it on there, or at least wait until there's someone else here so I can get those picked up. But I'll at least get everything organized so that I can start working on that next. So that'll be the next task. Okay, got those cut down to size. So one of them was sassafras, I stacked it down there, it's pretty small. And then everything else I kind of just tried to get turned so that I could get to it a little bit easier. Anything I cut, just kind of put over here. And again, got stuff kind of turned just so I could get to it and try to pick through kind of what we had going. Just kind of get spread out. Have a little bit of smaller ones over there that I'll be able to get. So probably got the trailer back over here and at least split the small stuff and get it done, and start with that and kind of do this in a couple segments, but be able to get a little bit more done and start to make a little bit of a dent in this. Thank you for watching the Smithers Henrica Woods. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.